Today, we're going to talk about Hearing Australia. This is an organization that is the largest provider of government-funded hearing services in the entire country. And they have a specialty focused on Aboriginal communities and early childhood interventions, where unfortunately children are at a particularly high incidence of risk for early childhood hearing loss and disease. But early intervention makes all the difference. Being able to work with a child early on, detect and treat, can make a massive difference in long-term outcomes and quality of life for this really critical population. And the challenge here is being able to do it at scale. 147 locations across Australia, individual communities that have very specific needs and cultural norms to be sensitive to, a massive force of audiologists, many of them volunteers, a huge challenge when it comes to logistics and information management. Or at least it was, until Jackie Peck, who herself trained audiologist with a lot of experience working on that front line, found Power Platform. And Jackie, first on her own and then working together with the IT team at Hearing Australia, was able to use Power Platform to completely transform this business process and experience and really start to improve how much time frontline audiologists are able to spend with patients. Let's take a look at how they did it. Now, the first and most important part of this experience is the audiologists themselves, working in the field and getting ready to go visit a new community, getting all the background information. Who am I going to go visit? What do I need to be aware of? Where do I need to go? What do I need to be sensitive to while I'm there? That used to be an incredibly difficult pile of information to impart to every single person in this vast network. Think about phone calls and manual research or just winging it on your own. But now, today, all of that is packed into a modern and beautiful Power App. And in fact, with the capability that's now available in this release wave to wrap a Power App as if it were any other native mobile app, this experience feels consumer grade. It's just like I'm interacting with any other app on my phone. I pop it up from my home screen here. It tells me exactly where I need to go, what I need to be aware of, what I need to be thinking about. All of that very scannable with my thumb as I'm getting ready. To really cuts down on the time spent in pre-work, and so I can spend a lot more time with patients. Now, of course, all of that is possible because of a lot going on in the background, and particularly a lot of the innovation that Jackie and her team have brought to the back office experience with Power Apps as well. What we're looking at here is a modern Power App built by this team that combines the best of the Power Apps canvas and custom experiences like this one here to get a bird's eye view of every community that Hearing Australia serves with the real power of what can be modeled over Microsoft Dataverse. And here we're seeing now the modern grid experience that is optional in this wave for makers to turn on, that allows me to really bring a lot of this data to life, to be able to visualize these tags and controls, but also to be able to edit that information right in line without even having to drill into a record. Really high productivity experience. Speaking of high productivity, also new in this wave is the ability to really personalize how I work with this data and these views. The ability to come in here and set this filter. And then be able to save that view as something that I can return to and personalize how those views show up. Be able to hide the things that are less relevant to me as a user, even share a view with a colleague that might be helpful to them as well, and make sure that they have the right permissions to use it on the other side. All of these are really about polishing the experience of a modern Power App for ultimate high productivity in a situation like this and many, many others. But here's the impressive thing. It's not just that software like this is possible to build and exist. It's that for an organization like Hearing Australia, Power Platform made it practical for the first time ever. See, this project, it didn't start on the backlog of a software developer. It started with Jackie, somebody who really knew what it takes to make somebody like her more productive. And Jackie started with Dataverse. Now, a lot of people out there might think, Dataverse, hey, that's this really sophisticated database that runs under all of Microsoft's most advanced business applications. Is that really something that a citizen developer, somebody without tech experience, can walk up to and become productive with? Well, with all the updates rolling out in this release wave, it has never been easier to get started on that powerful backend. And let's actually drill in a little bit and see some examples of how we're helping people like Jackie become incredibly productive on a powerful planet-scale data platform in Microsoft Dataverse. For one, now in the maker experience of any environment, a maker like Jackie will notice that she's not alone. In fact, she can see who else can work in this environment, who's the administrator of it, and who are other makers in the environment, who can she reach out to for help and collaborate with as she's building things in real time. And again, as she drills in to start to work with Dataverse data, you'll notice that this experience of working with this powerful backend has been completely reimagined and made, frankly, a lot friendlier than any database administrator has ever used a tool in the past. In fact, you notice it looks a lot like an approachable spreadsheet or other simple list. But under the hood of this table is a lot of power. I can add a column right in line. And under the hood, I'm using these strongly typed concepts and stamping out schema in this planet scale backend. But at the surface, I feel like I'm just adding a column to a table. I can give it some choices. I can give it some parameters, and I can even start adding data to it right in line, right in this experience, like I'd put data into a spreadsheet. Very familiar to users like Jackie, very powerful under the hood. And we're just getting started, because it's not just about modeling data in a table, it's also about really building powerful applications with it. And now with the modern app designer becoming generally available in this release wave, users like Jackie can, in a single click, start to automatically generate a robust business app right over all of that data. In fact, all the stuff that we saw before, all the column filtering and sorting and editing and personalization and everything else that comes with this app, just automatically generated out of the box. Jackie didn't have to build any of it. Not any additional lines of code required to get this basic but powerful experience up and running. And as a maker, I can add data to it as well. In fact, let's go in and add a table of volunteers to this app. And again, all the right things happen. All the relationships are created, the navigation works, and it's really, really quick to start to get to the experience that I want. Of course, the full power of the Power Apps canvas is also just a click away. And when I really want to build those custom experiences, I can do that as well. But in an organization like here in Australia, which it doesn't leave Jackie to do this on her own, but actually supports her with technical resources, pre-building advanced components and making them available throughout the organization, even building a custom experience is really just an issue of drag and drop and putting together these rich components. And let's put that map control right where we want it, and let's place that pre-built component for viewing the details of a community right here on the side. And really quickly we can start to scaffold out just this beautiful experience that's high productivity for our users. And we can go further than that too. Also new in this release wave, the entire Power Automate experience now available right inside the Canvas Studio without even leaving. So we can do something like put a button on the canvas that will on demand send a push notification update to the right people when we've updated information about a particular community. And now I've got that entire capability of Power Automate right at my fingertips. In fact, we can browse all of the templates here without even leaving, and even drill into all the gory details of setting up and wiring this automation, all right here at powerapps.com, all right here in the Modern Design Studio. And that's really the big theme here. It's all coming together. The power of Dataverse, the components modeled over it, the power of the blank canvas, the endless capability for logic with Power Automate, all together under one roof. But that's not all that's together here. It's also people. The ability to actually collaborate in real time, and particularly to interact through commenting with other makers and users who are also working on this app, is also becoming generally available in this release wave. So as somebody like Jackie who's working on these components and might need to reach out to somebody in my team for help, now I can do that just like I would leaving a comment on a PowerPoint presentation. In fact, it's exactly the same experience and controls. I can @mention a collaborator here. I can get that conversation happening in real time and the back and forth flowing, and I really feel like I'm part of a team. And that really is the big innovation here. It's not just the technology. It's the people coming together to solve a problem and bringing their own expertise, whether that's in making the life of an audiologist better or building production-grade business software. Bringing those two sets of expertise into the same interface is what's transforming business for Hearing Australia and can transform business for thousands and thousands of other companies, including yours as well. We can't wait to see what you do with that.